Hi, everybody. This is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, with the second part of Brought to You by the Letter G. I know that the first one was a couple of weeks ago, but that's how it's ending up in the rotation of things. So, this is a channel where most of us are carnivore, carnivish, heavy meat keto people. A lot of us are seasoned elders, seasoned veterans of the dieting world, and many of us have had every single diet in their life that this time it's going to be different, right? Ah, ah, ah. Right, as if. So if you're lucky like I feel I am, we landed on carnivore and a lot of the stuff went away. The aches, the pains, the shoebox of meds. Sometimes we lost inches, sometimes we lost weight, sometimes we gained weight, but what we got was our health back. Maybe some good, deep slumber, a lot less stress. If an interview was given to our significant other, we would find that we aren't that hard to live with anymore. So there's a lot of great, letter G, things that come out of going carnivore. And you can find lots of proof everywhere you look. So I tend to follow a lot of the doctors and professionals and engineers like Ivor and Dave Feldman for a lot of my info. Anyway, where were we? We were on the letter G with like oh so much stuff. So the next word that I had was generous. And as you will find here, there's a lot of generosity with people that have had success with their food plan, where they will share things like the food they eat, the pictures of what they eat, the what I ate in a day, the grocery hauls, the supplements, the feelings, the scale. It was funny, I was listening to Bart Kay, nutritionist, and he's an interesting sort from New Zealand. And he said that anybody that he works with mentions scale and he fires them right away, or he used to fire them right away. He used to be a little bit more hard-nosed than he is now. And so now I guess he will allow some scale talk. Not that any woman has ever had an issue with a scale that watches me, right? Grandiose. Well, I'm sure we've all watched some videos where the people are so grandiose. It's like cringeable moments. It's like, especially in this time that we're in right now, the grandiosity of those that you might have met through their keto website or channel, YouTube channel, or their carnivore channel. Now they are all self-anointed and appointed experts in what we're all going through, no matter what level of depth of it. Don't touch your face, okay? Rule number one, which I never can follow. So anyway, grandiosity aplomb here, and those are the people that got to where they got. They had nothing but smooth sailing. I would venture to say they're half my age, and everything goes just fine. They don't gain weight. They don't have a problem. They eat, an animal product diet. Everything's wonderful. And then suddenly, maybe they gain weight. Maybe they get their labs back and there's something wrong in their labs that makes them question what's going on. Maybe they get bored and they start playing around. Gee, maybe I can have a cup of this or a half a cup of that or a teaspoon of this. And they start getting a little bit daring and their grandiosity kind of gets holes punched into it. If you're watching somebody and you're coming out of that thinking, why do they think they're so much better? Then maybe you shouldn't watch them. Because if you find that you're talking back to your screen, your 50, 60, 70-inch screen in your living room that you have YouTube on, and you're talking to it, maybe that person's not a good idea for you to listen to, right? A little grandiose, are we? grow. A lot of us have grown in this program with this community. We couldn't do it without the help and support and other videos of other people. That's how I feel. My growth as knowing my N equals 1, which is your self-experimentation, which means that you learn what works for you. You know, some people can eat 2.5 pounds of beef every single day, have great lab results, lose inches, lose weight, everything's great. And, you know, we can learn from them. Other people, you know, struggle and, you know, is 1 pound too little beef or 2 pounds too many for a woman of my age or a female or whatever. So we learn and we grow together by watching our videos. We get inspired by others and then we watch them. And then if you're like me, you look to the right-hand side of your YouTube and you see that, wow, just because you watch this person, they suggest this person for your next video. So you incorporate a new person in your library go-to of who helps you. And then some get dropped by the wayside as they might go off the range in what they do, what they say. The next one is Giggle. I love giggly moments. I love candor. I love cleverness. I love very, very dry humor. It makes me giggle because I feel like, ooh, there's substance to that soul right there. They got me with that. I like to have that. I like feeling that if I watched a clever person talk a second time, I might get more. I love people that have references. So you're kind of drawn in, which is kind of how I do it with my, you know, snowflakes and turtles and Goldilocks and all of that. I like to pull people in and, you know, when they're wondering, what are you talking, Goldilocks, what? You know, they have to keep listening to get the reference. It's like, you know, a great TV show that you may watch season after season, or another radio show that you listen to. Imus was very good for that. His reference points were incredible. You had to tune in. Otherwise, you know, you'd never get the references. The sports radio station that I listen to now, you know, they have so many points of reference. They're all so diversified. And of course, I don't know what they look like. I suppose I could look up the station online to see what they look like. But there's so many points of reference, sports-wise, humor-wise, working together-wise, that I have to keep tuning in to figure it all out. It's a wonderful puzzle. And so I love to giggle at the inside jokes or references. That always helps me. Gag. Gag. Did any of you find this in your programs, that you began to gag at certain foods, certain ways that you were doing things, that like, why do I keep doing this to myself? It makes me want to gag. Or have any of you watched somebody that's grandiose and they make you want to gag after a while? It's like brag, 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 brag. Hey, buddy, I don't see any initials after your name. You're not the go-to, you know, even, no offense, but even Dr. Fauci has his weak points, you know, or Dr. Bricks, or any of the ones that I love in Trump's arsenal of experts, right? So don't make me gag at your grandiosity of how great you are. How's that for a G sentence? Huh? So, you know, sometimes it's a physical thing, like a gag, and other times it's an emotional gag at somebody that just, it's just like, I don't tune into you to see how the world began. I don't, or how this began. Honestly, I don't. I want to hear, if I tune into somebody that's keto or carnivore, I basically want to hear keto, carnivore, or how you're coping with all of this being a keto carnivore. I want some reference to how I got to know you in the first place, right? Right. Okay. The next one is gauche. And you know, I always love gauche in fashion magazines or Us or People or something like that, where it's like, what were you thinking? Gauche, um, gauche fashion really just kind of cracks me up. And Gauche. All right, gluttony. Hello. Hello. What was your history before you got here as a standard American dieter? Um, Gluttony. Yep, that was me. There was never enough of enough, right? And nothing ever felt satisfying, satiating. Like I could just, push myself away from the table and say, that was great. I don't even have to think about it for the next 24, 36, 72 hours, right? So, gluttony was in my back pocket all the time, ready to have the light shined on it. And, when I was eating all the wrong things all the time, I was so gluttonous. I was such a little slothful piggy. I don't ever want to go back to that. Um, Grudge. Sometimes we hold grudges. Sometimes we eat at our grudges. I know. I'm the only person that ever ate at a grudge that I had. A grudge against a boss from hell. And I'm sure I'm the only one that ever did that. Or a grudge about something that, sometimes in my past I was a brat. And I know, hard to believe, isn't it? And so I didn't take the letter or the word, 2 letters, no, very well. I wanted my way all the time. If you loved me, you would let me, buy me, bring me, tell me, whatever, blank, blankety, blank, blank, right? And so when I got a little bit older and wiser, I learned that it's funny because with Greg, I've like thrown a few things over the bow. For example, which would relate to us, the Oscar. It's not Oscar Wilde. The grill that a lot of people use. I know Sean Baker does. I know that Laura Spatt uses one, and so it's that grill Oscar, and it sits about the size. It looks like a toaster oven, and I guess it's very, very hot, which is why people love it, because it instantly sears the outside and keeps the inside like a nice medium rare. Never used one, but it was on sale a few months ago, and I asked Greg, and he said no. And it's like, well, I'm not going to have a grudge against him. He doesn't even know, what I'm bringing forth. I mean, we do have a big green egg. We have a propane tank Weber grill. We have plenty, not to mention the toaster oven and the regular oven and the stove. So it wasn't, it was just one more piece of equipment that I thought, maybe we needed it. Like when people have, an espresso machine, a drip coffee maker, a single serve, a Keurig, a pour over. It's like it was going to be like one more thing. And I realized, in my maturity of only the last few years, trust me, was that I'm not going to build a grudge against this guy that never says no. But he did say no to this, and it's quite okay. So I didn't eat over it. I didn't drink over it. I didn't go and buy a pack of Marlboro Greens to smoke over it. I said, no means no. I asked him his opinion. He said no. Let's go with it, girlie. Oh, okay. And the last one for the day, boys and girls, is Goldilocks. Goldilocks is one of the characters that we have here. Goldilocks is not a diva. Goldilocks just likes her oatmeal the way that she likes it, unless she's here in our world. And she might like her coffee the way that she likes it. She might like her steak cooked the way that she likes it. She might like her water. She might like the salts that she likes and doesn't really feel the need to try somebody else's idea of what salt is. Goldilocks pretty much knows her Who knows what she likes? And so that's a Goldilocks. And um, one of the places that I'm a Goldilocks is my coffee. I drink my first cup black in the morning, and that just works. I'm so busy firing up everything. What happened overnight? I have to see, the comments and the bank balance, make sure that nobody's tampering with, all my money and all that kind of stuff. So drinking black coffee has, it's not like it's this huge sacrifice, right? But the next one, I want my butter and I want my Kitu, the non-dairy creamer, Kitu. Kitu. You can find it where you find your creamers, usually in most every retail grocery store, okay? Or Amazon if you can't. So I'm a Goldilocks when it comes to my coffee. I'm a Goldilocks when it comes to pretty much the meats that I like. I'm pretty much medium rare to rare. I'm a Goldilocks, right? And I like my eggs like scrambled wet in butter. Thank you very much. In my little copper pan. So I'm a Goldilocks about a few little things that mean nothing to anybody. It doesn't impact anybody else's life. That's a Goldilocks. It's just what they want for themselves, and it's not going to have an impact on you. You don't lose your vacation pay because I like my coffee a certain way, right? It's not in one of those diva stamp her feet sort of things. And so I'm going to end with Dear Goldilocks, and clearly I didn't get to a lot of stuff. So we're going to get to more of those G words probably in a part 3. But I'm so glad you're here. This is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, Carnivore, and Carnivish. And yep, there's lots of points of references, so you have to keep watching here. I hope you do. And I will see you the next time. Thanks so much. Couldn't do this without you. Bye-bye for now.